Sharn. The most beautiful city in the world and a den of corruption. If you want something done here, you need a fistful of cash or knuckles wrapped in brass. But those short on either are always willing to trade. One of the few good souls I've met on these streets is Ashley Gwynnanod, a half-orc who owns a detective agency in Harris Folly. He's got a penchant for champion and solving other people's problems. As the rains of Rhaan beat down on his window, a well-dressed half-elf makes their way through his door. She's got a job for him. A job and a fistful of cash. If he can find a team. The first person he calls is Foxy, a shifter whose kid Ashley saved on his last big job. Tensions are high between the shifters and the Silver Flame, so it's hard to protect your own, especially after this year's Fathen's fall. Then, Delaria, a soldier turned mortician with a love for silver, flames, and sharp knives on and off the battlefield. And me, Theron, a member of the Watch who finally found their conscience waiting for their daughter to come home from Arcanics. A daughter who's long past due. We returned to Ashley's office for a nightcap, cut short by the visitation of a prospective and promising client, outlining the details of her daughter, Jacket's disappearance right before the Tang Gala, a scandal filled with several stops to the shadiest, most dangerous sides of Sharn.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Dice, Drinks, and Drama and the second episode of our Eberron Noir spectacular, The Reigns of Rhaan. I am John Heath Clark, your Dungeon Master this evening, and let us meet the rest of our fabulous cast.
I'm Victoriano. I'll be playing Delaria Eckert, a rune knight, tiefling, and your friendly neighborhood mortician.
Hello, my name is Devin Bryant, and I will be playing Miss Foxy, a glamorous bard, fox shifter, devotee of the Silver Flame, and mother of one.
Hey there, I'm playing Zeke Stewart. I'm not playing Zeke Stewart, sorry. Hi there, I'm Zeke Stewart, and I'm playing Theron Jaxadrin, a hobgoblin, shadow magic sorcerer, a member of the Sharn Watch who finally just found their conscience.
Hello, my name is Carter Scott Horton. I play Ashley Gwynnanod, a half-orc ancestral guardian barbarian and private eye.
All right, we begin as the second day of Rhaan at 8 a.m. in the morning, when our crew is meant to meet again to begin their investigation, to find out what happened to Jaquette Irtain on behalf of her mother, Octavia Irtain. So, the rains are beating on the windows here in Harris Folly at the little pawn-shaped detective agency. What is its name again, Ashley?
It is...
The Lucky Pawn, right?
Yes.
The Lucky Pawn Detective Agency. And there's something a little strange as the door tinkles open and Eulogy comes in and starts setting everything up. Eulogy, of course, the female-presenting Green Warforged that used to work for Ciri, cataloging the dead of the war. And
do you mind spelling Ciri for those who are only listening?
Cyre, the tragic victim of the morning that ended the last war, apocalyptic destruction of that particular region. We are there's a rather strange sight, and Eulogy goes, "Oh my," because seated on the couch in the front, sleeping on the couch with a tiny little blanket, is Theron, our hobgoblin. And she goes, "Oh, are you? Oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Did I wake you?"
Oh, no, it's all right. You know, sorry that I startled you. I'll just, is there a bathroom in here that I can,
Of course there is, and I'm gonna get some really nice Lazar Principalities coffee brewing so that all of you have all the energy you need. I was expecting all of you in a few minutes, but that's okay. I'm sure Foxy and Delaria will be here soon. I'm just gonna wake up Mr. Gwynnanod, all right? I'll be right back.
Oh, sure.
And she goes, "So what does an awakening Theron look like?"
So as you can see in my picture, I have my hair kind of slicked back, but it's like falling in front of my face. and my eyes are puffy. My shirt was slightly unbuttoned and undone, so I'm like hurriedly sort of pulling it down and blinking out what meager sunlight comes through the window, and I when I sit up, a book falls from my chest, and it's a book of Champion, which is this world's chess, moves onto the floor, which I had fallen asleep.
Conqueror. It's fine.
Damn it.
It's okay. Names
No,
are
the
hard.
energy,
Names
the
are
vibe,
hard.
it was there. Yeah.
Yeah, Conqueror falls to the ground, and I like try to hurriedly put it away, back on the shelf. Although I'm sure I've dented and ruined some pages.
Great.
It's fine.
Ashley, Eulogy knocks on your door. I imagine you're already getting ready, and you're ready to come out.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and Eulogy says, I'm going to get everything together for your day, get all the transports and everything set up. But just let me know, all right? If you need anything, you're aware that your hobgoblin friend is asleep on your
Certainly,
couch, yes?
yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
Yes, it was communicated.
Right, stranger things have happened. If we had an intruder, I wanted to make sure I was, helpful. But I'll just keep getting ready. You two talk while we wait for the rest to arrive.
Thank you very much, Eulogy.
She ducks over. She begins working with papers, getting ready to send out a call for a sky coach when you're ready. All that kind of stuff.
An awesome secretary. I'm going to assume the coffee's ready at least.
Yes.
Great, cool. Ashley is definitely a Java boy, as is every iteration of me across the multiverse. So he's got a nice black cup of coffee. He's sipping it. I think he sits down next to a fully set board of Conqueror. Just like sipping his coffee, enjoying himself. It's just an open chair.
You need a partner there?
If you would, do you know how to play?
Well, I did, fall asleep reading one of those books of yours, so I can give it a shot, I guess.
I would love that. Please. Please, take a seat.
Hey, I want to thank you for letting me stay here with the sergeant. Who's sergeant, right? Or captain?
Mm-hmm. It's Zoak Kra. Lieutenant. He's a lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Oh.
With the lieutenant knowing my face and having, done what I done. Maybe not the safest place to go home right now.
It is, you do not need to mention.
Well, thanks anyway.
Of course.
So, you got what color are you?
Well, this is my house. I live in the Lucky Pond. I feel like you should make the first move.
Alright, fine. Just grab a random one and move it forward.
That is not quite a legal move. Perhaps you should start with a pawn.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I want you to know that he's totally grifting you right now.
All right, so you're beginning.
Maybe.
Conquer is one of those games that has so much nuance that it can be played wisely and conservatively, or intelligently and nefariously, or even through sheer force of personality. Mm-hmm. So I invite you all to make a mental ability check, adding proficiency. Ashley has advantage.
Okay, great.
Great.
Because you both know the game, but Ashley's an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me see here. Let's do...
Oh my goodness.
What'd you do?
I rolled an 18 and a 19, so that's a 24.
Jesus. I mean, there's no way, I don't think.
We'll see how badly, right? That's the point, right?
Yeah. I'll just... All right.
Do I
Just
checkmate you in
intelligence.
10 moves? Please say yes. Please say yes.
If you beat him by 15 or more.
You get a 9. It could happen.
I got 11, so that's 13.
Great. So you do beat him before anybody else shows up. It's fast but not embarrassing.
Mhm.
You're
Fast,
a ranked
but not
master
embarrassing.
of conqueror.
Mhm.
You manage to move in your siege engines and your cavalry, just decimate his legions until you're finally able to conquer his rebel leader. Because Conqueror is about Karn the Conqueror having taken over the various different parts of Corvair prior to it becoming Galifar, prior to it splitting up into several different nations. As you're moving in and destroying his rebel leader, there's a little tinkle at the door, and Delaria has arrived. How is Delaria dressed for a day of investigations?
She's wearing her suspenders, and she also has like a kind of what are they called? Dust jacket, I believe is the term. Like
Duster.
Duster. Yeah, she has one of those on, and you can tell that it's totally not hers, and she pulled it off the last body in the morgue. Like something about it just doesn't fit right in the shoulders, but those pants, they're fitted flawlessly with boots all the way up to her calves. Little too much height for, just walking around. Just to appear a little bit taller, and also to make sure that her tail, the very tip of it, just hits the ground and doesn't go anywhere else.
I imagine her as one of those people that eats in transit on the way to work. Are you finishing up an egg sandwich or something?
I don't have an egg sandwich.
Sure.
I have a single piece of toast just right between my teeth.
Great. You're still waiting on Foxy, who's not running late yet, just running a little later than everybody else. Take a second, say hi to each other.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
Or is it afternoon?
It is morning still, I believe.
It is 8 a.m.
I'm dressed. I'm here. My hands are with the living today, as you can see, and she just starts shaking your hand without you actually extending it. See, with the living.
Yes.
So how are you and your girlfriend this morning?
I do not date anyone.
All right. Yeah. I meant eulogy, but sure. And
Oh, my
Delaria
secretary.
kind of moves past
Yes.
you and walks through the door.
Okay.
So do you have anything else to eat, by the way? I just feel like maybe some jam or maybe like a nice margarine or something in your fridge. Because I remember last time I was here, I might have drained the resources a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that it's still stock quality.
Ashley's going to ring a little bell.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Guerinard, you called?
Yes, I did. Do you have anything in the pantry? Any sort of carbohydrate and
maybe like an egg or cheese or anything like that.
you asked for jam and toast.
Yeah, but
now
she's
you
more
want.
polite than you.
But
I'm very sorry, I got Southern. Oh, okay. I'm a little confused, but that's okay. What can I get for you? I don't mean to presume, but many people of your background prefer spicy foods. I would be very happy to whip up a little spicy egg sandwich with little cheese, a little grated on dairy and brie, perhaps. Would that work for you?
I wasn't exactly.
I'll take that. That sounds great. I'll take
that
it.
sounds
sure.
delicious.
thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
Could you
Of
make?
course.
In fact,
Thanks,
make
Darren.
4.
Oh yeah.
I will, absolutely. It'll
Thank
be
you.
just a jiffy. I gotta get the little, I gotta get the bound
Eulogy,
elemental.
you do not rush yourself. We are on your time.
And you see her go over. There's a little hot pot, but what it has is a tiny bound fire elemental in it. And she's bringing it to life and waking it up. And it begins to burn. She's getting the eggs and stuff together. She's very efficient at it. It's very much like her arms are moving independently from her attention in her head, right? And she's very quickly putting together these 4 sandwiches. It is at this point, this is another little tinkle of the bell as Foxy walks in. What is Foxy dressed for her day? Sorry, Ashley. What is Foxy dressed for her day?
Okay, so the first thing you should notice about Foxy are the legs. And what are attached to the legs? Boots, baby. Boots the house down. She's wearing these thick leather, high-heeled boots that just It should be a crime. She can't help but be the bustiest in the room, you know. It's been a gift of hers since the dawn of her upbringing. But she's dressed a little bit more like classier than you saw her the last time. Last time she had just put down the baby, you know. And stepped out of the house, so she was in her everydays. But this time Foxy's here for a job. And when Foxy's here for a job, she dresses the part.
Umbrella, I should have asked this for Delaria, and I'm sorry, but it's raining pretty heavily outside.
Uh-huh.
Umbrella, let's start with Delaria. Umbrella, poncho, soaked.
You, as if the door was open and in, she probably had her whole head within this oversized jacket. Yeah.
Sure. What about
room?
What about Foxy? How did you avoid wetness?
Foxy, not to be shown up by Octavia again, comes in umbrella first, and when she rises it up, her hair just ever so gently bounces. It's up today, you know, and so, professional, as they say. Her ears perked, dry, delicious. Her tail also still dry. You have no idea how she stayed so dry. And yet she is.
All right. So the four of you should have a moment and then get ready to head out to Velvet's.
Your umbrella is dripping water all over the ground. You want to get that for you?
Oh, thank you
Did the
so
place
much,
get just
dear.
a little bit steamier?
I think it's just me.
Oh, that's what I thought.
The temperature is the same.
Oh, Ashley.
Why?
Oh, Foxy.
Oh, Ashley. And I'm going to look down at the Conqueror board and go, how many moves this time?
This was 15.
15 moves?
Oh,
Sounds like
right.
you're getting a little rusty.
Oh, no, I just have a wonderful opponent.
Oh, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
He is a charmer, isn't he?
Oh, no, for our first game, it was quite impressive. Please do not take your beating too bad.
Yeah, it's my first game ever played. Yeah, you got me.
Definitely have something
Is that
to say.
true?
No.
Is that true, Theron? All right, great. Is it? Are you lying, or like, are you trying to get one up on him, or are you just being silly?
Yeah, I was
All right,
giving up one of them.
All right, make a deception check. Ashley, make an insight check.
All right.
Sure.
My insight is can't be that good.
Cool.
Oh, actually,
Didn't spill tea everywhere in the show.
I got an 8. I got an 8. There's no way.
Yeah, that's 22.
So Theron did exceptionally well for his first ever game of Conqueror.
Yes.
Especially against a ranked master.
No, you are. I do not overstate when I say that you have prodigy potential. If you apply yourself, if this is the first game that you have ever played, it was normally it's 10 moves or less. You don't understand that there is the scholar's mates, and nearly everybody falls for it, but you did not, and that is quite something. You have an aptitude for the game.
Yeah.
I want you to pursue. I would love to tutor you.
Oh, I love that. I love for you to tutor me. Absolutely, you should definitely teach me.
I
what
have
you know about this
expensive
game.
rates, but it is worth your while.
Oh, I don't know about the money. That's not happening. But look, if you want to teach a prodigy, I mean, I'll put your name all over my wins or whatever.
All right, Eulogy comes back in.
While I'm having this conversation, I looked over at Foxy and definitely winked.
Eulogy comes in with a nice tray. She puts a very well-made, well-crafted, like, it's precise, it's machine made. It's just the machine is a sentient warforged, right? And everybody gets one, and there's like a little private touch to each of them. Burned into the top of Foxy's is a picture of a little fox. Delaria's is chopped up into smaller pieces because she saw how messy Delaria was with her piece of toast and didn't want stuff everywhere. Theron's has a little bit of extra hot sauce because hobgoblins are known for more spicy food. And Ashley's has a little flower set off to the side.
Beautiful.
And she
Oh,
says,
good.
"I hope you all enjoy. I'm gonna keep watching the fort. But if you need anything, you just go to the nearest civis station. You throw me a sending, and I'll get it for you. If you need anything investigated or researched, or you just wanna hear how the day's going. You know."
Certainly.
Why'd
Thank you
I not
so
get
much,
a
Eulogy.
flower?
They
Oh.
were individuals.
Oh, all right.
Yours
get
is
it.
special because it's in tiny pieces, because you are such a messy eater.
At least I'm not a mess.
None of us are messes. We are people.
Not today.
All right. Time is of the essence, and you are getting ready to head in the early day when it's not so crowded to Velvet's Dream Parlor in Lower Tavick's Landing in the Dragoneyes district, the pleasure district of Dragoneyes. It's a place where the laws are a little overlooked. No gambling in Sharn, perhaps, or rather, gambling is fine, but no pit fights. Perhaps, but this is where the Ring of Fire is set up at nights, which is an unofficial moving arena that is set up with a ring of torches in random parts of the district. It's a place that the students of Moorgrave University go down to because they're in the upper parts of the city. It is a well-known pleasure district that is just corporatized enough and gentrified enough that it's not dangerous, but just uncorporatized and just ungentrified enough that it's edgy. Does that make sense? And Velvet's in particular is a very high-class establishment. It is probably the fanciest place in this district. And yes, that is where you are heading. Does that make sense?
Lovely. And we're heading in the morning, so there's no chance of seeing this Ring of Fire.
No chance of singing the Ring of Fire, but there's plenty of stuff going on 24 hours a day in Dragoneyes. Right?
How are we getting there?
That's a great question.
Sky Coach, I presume. We have quite the expenses are paid. And so we can make whatever expenses we want, no?
Indeed.
Should we be going down there in such an expensive, obvious?
Well, suppose you were right, Foxy. Well, we could Sky Coach just across and then feather fall down.
How far away is it exactly?
It will be good for your hair.
You
I was thinking
are
the same.
in a middle district. I think Middle Memphis Plateau. I can always never remember which district.
Yeah,
any
I
of the,
think
which ward.
Harris Folly is in Memphis.
It's middle though, for sure.
Yes.
And you're going to low. So you're traveling. You're in near the middle of the city. You're traveling to the southeastern section of the city and several hundred feet down. Right.
Yeah.
So
Do tokens of Featherfall have a once per use?
yes, they do.
They do.
But they're inexpensive. Everybody has them. If you
Yeah.
go anywhere, like even the lower districts, you need it, right? So it's something you have, but you could also take the Sky Coach to the edge of Dragoneyes and walk through Dragoneyes to get to Velvet's, so as not to cause too much stir. It's actually Middle Dura. I was wrong. It's not Memphis. It's Dura, which means you're all the way on the western edge of the city in a very working class low, and once you get to the lower edges, lower class section of the city, right? So
great.
it's across the city. You're going. You know, you're crossing, and this city is as big as New York. So you're crossing from Manhattan into like Brooklyn, right? It's a trek.
I like the trick though.
It's a good trek.
That's a good one.
And Dragoneyes is a really fun place to go, right?
Right.
So
I love Greenpoint.
yes, there's a little of that to this, yeah.
Don't go to Greenpoint. That's
Um,
don't do that.
no, but it's
That was just the first Brooklyn neighborhood that popped into my mind. All right, well,
so you take the Sky Coach. You're kept dry despite the driving rain. Even though it's 8 a.m, it's dismal. Rhaan can be a very dismal month with the constant rain clouds. At least it's not thundering, right? And the rain isn't cool, it's warm because the sun is still hitting the clouds, right? So it's not as miserable as it was last night. You get to Dragoneyes. This place is much less politicized. The counselor is almost certainly staying in place. So there's not as many protests. There's not as many posters. It's just it's really a place to relax, and people know it. So you see a number of things. There's rowdy gambling halls, magical tattoo parlors, places for permanent to very temporary cosmetic changes. So you see people coming out of one of these cosmetic places with hair that literally looks like fire, right? Others will go here to try out being another gender for a day. Physiologically, it's not cheap, but you can completely transform your body to whatever you want it to be for a little while, right? And that's one of the trades in this section of the city.
Wait, is that polymorph based?
It's actually an official thing for Eberron in Exploring Eberron. I can look it up. I don't think it's polymorph based.
No worries.
I think if anything, it's a alternate use of alter self that is applied to others.
Okay, great. I was just like, whoa, there's a
Eberron
powerful
real, though.
Yes, I know.
spellcaster.
I was
in
so
that.
happy. I was so happy when I saw that written in. And you can, so then you see Velvet's. Velvet's has this beautiful facade. It's in that burgundy that I associate with Velvet, right? And a big sign that is lit up using ever bright lanterns that says Velvet's. There's all manner of very happy people going in and out, even at this time of day. It's still busy. It's just not as insane as it gets, right? On at night. And there is a big burly guard outside that you see in the course of minutes shift into several other forms: male, female, bugbear, hobgoblin, human, dragonborn. They are clearly interested in showing the shifting nature of what's in, but there's still a guard. You can tell that this changeling could, give you a good sock in the noggin if you caused problems. And they're definitely checking everybody in, and you notice them handing a small pin to people as they enter.
Everybody?
Everybody is offered. Not everybody accepts.
Could I make some kind of roll to see if I can distinguish what?
Sure. I will. You could. The bouncer's going to explain it, and it's part of the mechanics of this place. So just shared storytelling wise, let the bouncer explain it. Right?
Oh, great. Yeah. Sure. Easy.
So you walk up to the bouncer, and they are in a aesthetically pleasing human form, though their veins are all in silver. And they say, "Welcome to Velvet's. First time or returning?"
First time. For
Wonderful.
Me.
So, Velvet's is a dream parlor. It is our job to bring the dreams of those who visit to life. Most of our clientele are changelings. There are a few doppelgangers, though I invite you to try to figure out who's who. And what's more, there are other exotics. People, all manner of different desires can be fulfilled here, from the carnal to the erudite. Now, most of our people are outfitted with the ability to read the basic thoughts of those who enter. Now, if that's the case, they'll be better able to find exactly what works for you. But if you wish to keep your thoughts private, that's okay. And the way we know is they are tuned to those wearing a tiny little signet with a V. If you wear that signet, your basic thoughts and desires will be read, but there will be no further prying. If you don't wear that signet, we will know that you wish to keep all of your thoughts and desires to yourself. Which among you would like this signet?
I don't care if people read my mind.
Great. Delaria?
That sounds great.
Delaria, you're given a tiny little silver, it's made of like pewter, it's not expensive. It's a little V pin that you're able to pin to your duster.
All right. It's like I wear it on my face enough. It shouldn't make a difference, but...
Yeah, I'll take one too.
All right, Theron, you're also given one.
Mm-hmm.
Foxy's clasping her silver arrowhead pendant and politely declines.
Oh no, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. So, you enter, and the first person you see is a very plump, luscious, beautiful woman with ringlets of long red hair. Think Rose Quartz from Steven Universe. Big, joyful, beautiful woman, right? And she says, "Well, howdy, and welcome to Velvet's. I'm feeling a little thrainish today, if y'all don't mind, so that's what I'm putting on. I'm, of course, Velvet, and I'm here to make sure your desires are met." She looks at you, Delaria, and she is going to shift into your vision of loveliness. What does Velvet look like when she shifts into Delaria's vision of loveliness by reading her surface thoughts and desires?
Love how Deverin's smiling because she knows exactly. Oh no, it just shifts into Foxy because as they were walking in, Delaria just looked back and then looked forward again, so it wasn't enough time to refresh the browser, if you know what I mean.
Sure. And she says, "Oh, interesting. Here's the thing. There are a lot of people that have interests in people that they have an otherwise safe platonic relationship with." She flushes forward Foxy's bodacious breasts and says, "Here's the thing. You can engage in that sort of activity without consequence here at Velvet's."
That was just so my and then she kind of pulls out her tail. My lizard brain was having that thought, not my desire brain.
And
she looks good.
And that's where this is where to come. This is where to come to fulfill the needs of your lizard brain. And she shifts over into a Quabaran lizard folk and flicks out her tongue and says, "Sometimes the lizard brain is what needs to be fulfilled."
You're amazing. Like, honestly, if I had your performance skills, I'd be working here too.
You gotta tire yourself out.
As you say that, Theron, her attention shifts to you, and she draws on your surface thoughts. What is your vision of loveliness? And this doesn't need to be... vision of loveliness is wrong. If you could spend 10 minutes alone with anybody and do whatever you wanted consensually with them... Yeah.
10
whole
minutes.
That's
10 minutes?
Or more.
Okay.
I was trying. It might be a chess master,
it could
a conqueror
be
master,
7 minutes in heaven.
Absolutely.
or something completely non-sexual. The point is, it would draw on Theron's desires of who he would want to spend time with. So what does that appear to be?
There's a smaller, younger hobgoblin. It's a girl who looks very similar to me.
Great. And this is your daughter, would I presume? And she would talk. She would say, "Oh, see, if you wanted to spend some time with a young family member."
No, please, could you
She shifts back to the big, luscious Thranian woman and says, "Don't worry, I wasn't trying to upset nobody.
I understand. You're just doing your job. It's fine.
I just want you to know."
I should have kept my mind clean. I wasn't focused.
Absolutely, sugar, and don't you worry none about it. The idea here is that you know that anything you desire is available as an illusion, and not even at the highest price, unless you need a number of people or very advanced illusions, which is possible, but expensive, if you know what I mean. So, now that we've had our introductions, what can I do y'all for? What can we find?
That's a very interesting way to put it. We actually are looking for someone, you see.
Oh, is that so? Well, we sure can make an illusion of them available to you.
No, the Velvet, you are a savvy and, I would wager a guess, quite experienced businesswoman.
Immensely talented.
And immensely talented, yes.
You're
I
very
cannot
pretty.
applaud. If I were to applaud you how much you deserve, my hands would bleed. down to a nub. All of this to say, I must speak to you businessman to businessman. I am not necessarily here for your wares, but on our own business. You see, we are looking for a client of yours who has gone missing.
Well, sugar, I don't tend to talk about clients. Now, why should I in this case?
I'm going to lean in very close and just whisper the name Octavia Irtane.
Make a intimidation check.
Ooh. Good thing I'm a half-orc. Ooh, 9.
You know, it becomes even less likely that I talk about my clients when they're so important and well connected. The last thing I want to do is attract the attention of the Irtanes or their many enemies, you understand. Now, I've been in communication with some of my information gatherers while we've been talking, and I know exactly who the four of you are now. And I have to say, I'm a little wary. We don't try. This is a place of consent and a place of secrecy.
Oh, no. Velvet, I am not in any way interested in the proclivities or fantasies of this young girl. I am interested in her safety, as is her mother.
So when you say Octavia Irtane,
Octavia
you mean
is
her
footing
daughter?
the bill. Yes.
Yeah, no thanks.
She says, she stops. She thinks. And she says, I do not wish for harm to come to that young woman, and given the things that she is up to, that seems more likely than not.
What things are she up to?
I think you're better off talking to the people who know exactly. Why don't you make yourselves comfortable in the main room, and I'll send in the gentleman that she spoke to when she was here a few days ago.
Thank you very much. And you have a lovely establishment.
Great. And indeed, I should describe it. Taffeta, hanging, silks, incense that is delightful and is from Sarlona, so it's psionically active, so it actually smells just a bit like your favorite thing. Right? So, exactly. And if you want to denote that, does anybody want to say what the incense of velvet smells like?
Chrysanthemums and embalming fluid.
Great. Gross. Anybody else?
Yep.
Musty books.
Nice.
Just cinnamon and sugar.
Oh, let me find out what that location. Oh well, I don't want to give. Hey John, are there any specific flowers that have disappeared since the morning?
Sure. Let's say it's Siren lilies.
Sure. That's what.
My
nose
smells of Siren lilies. That's lovely. All right, so you're brought into this massive entry chamber, and what you see is that there's a number of beings that are clearly hawking wares, and some of them are clearly shapeshifters or illusionists. Others are special experiences. You see that there is a dragonborn that is here. She is bare-chested but breastless because she's a reptile, and but clearly, like, hey, you wanna evening with a lizard person? That's available.
A lusty Argonian maid?
Don't do that
Just
to me.
for us?
Please stop.
I didn't even think of it, but yes.
I did
Yep.
make a
Okay.
promise to you, dragon.
Back up. All right.
And
thank God.
I'm back.
you see that there's a rather wealthy noble person that is chatting with her and considering spending time on her. You are brought to sit and wait. People flit by you, and there are most of the people here are changelings, right?
Mhm.
So those of you with Velvet's pins, they will be altering themselves to be appealing to you as they walk by as an enticement. Either Delaria or Theron, if you would like, you can give another description of a person that might walk by, so we get to know your characters a little better, or not. Or you can you can see how important. There's not a lot of aggressive salesmanship here. The people aren't coming up to you. They're not grabbing you. They're not touching you. Consent and safety seem to be the bywords of this institution.
Delaria has 3 lined up.
Great. What are they?
So the desire portion, I do not mean this in a cardinal context.
Sure.
One of the first ones is Ashley, but you can fully tell that the emotional resonance is fully there. Like there's the open arms, the friendship that's warm and affectionate, that Delaria tries that, and then immediately Delaria kind of moves out and gets a little uncomfortable from that one.
Ashley looks at you for a second and says, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm uncomfortable with this now.
And
honestly,
it shifts over and says, "Don't worry, hon. That one's for free." And then walks away.
And then you see this.
Wait, hold on. What did they mean? That one's for free.
Don't worry.
I will not.
One day, you too will understand why I want to see that in the world.
I am already proud of you.
Oh, sugar.
What?
Delaria kind of speeds up, and then you see this probably, I'm going to say about 4'8", dwarven woman with just one eye kind of a little bit off center. And something about her has godhood written all over it. Just holiness. A clerical essence.
Sure. Delaria, I'd like to add one. There's also an opportunity for vengeance. Faux vengeance here. The opportunity to get the experience of getting somebody that wronged you. And you had somebody that wronged you pretty badly in your past, right?
Yes.
I would like that person to appear in this set of images for just a second because of how badly you want to cause them pain. Can you describe what that person looks like?
I was actually going to ask you to describe it.
Sure. They are... I don't have the name offhand, and I was hoping you did. Do you have the name?
They didn't have a name.
They didn't have a name.
No.
I'm talking about your experience in the trenches in Thrain, specifically.
I didn't know their name.
Oh, you didn't know their name?
No.
Okay.
I only knew them body alone.
Got it. So it is a half-elf, sandy-haired, mousy. He is wearing chainmail armor and, or rather, a chain shirt for ease of sneakery. And otherwise, you don't know their name. You just remember this person. How does Delaria react to seeing this?
Delaria reacts full-on hair trigger and actually goes up to grab the person that's there. But there is apprehension in it.
When you do, their skin ripples in various different colors from shock, and then shifts over. The shock makes the changeling go to the pure white, waxy, featureless, black eyes, thin mouth, no nose that is the changelings. And they go, "I am sorry. I was picking up. I did not mean to offend."
It's fine. I understand. I'm sorry for what I did. It's just sometimes you can't control that necessarily. I hope you're okay.
I am fine.
I know you're trying to do your job the best you can. You did an excellent job, especially on the nose.
If you desire to cause illusory harm to that individual, that is very much something we can make available here. Are you interested?
It's a wonderful offer, but my own services definitely provide me with that release and recreation. But I appreciate it a lot.
And the changeling bows and they say, "Absolutely. Anytime." And they go off. It is at this point that coming down from a staircase from upstairs, you see a gentleman walking towards you, a very unique and impossible to miss gentleman, and his intensity shows that he's coming towards you. He is a minotaur. He is wearing a velvety open shirt, unbuttoned all the way down to his navel, showing his perfectly furred, perfectly primed chest. He is lithe, unlike most minotaurs. He's not big and bulky. He's got a hourglass shape, right? And he's got a big golden ring through his nostril, and he's wearing tight, revealing leather pants. And there's a lot to reveal. Let's just put it that way, right? And he walks with a sensuality and certainty that is so unlike the minotaurs you're used to. Objectify this imaginary minotaur, please. That's the intention. So can I get religion or history checks to see how much you all might know about the standard Minotaur of Eberron and why this is so different?
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Wow, are you fucking with
Oh my
me?
goodness!
We really know Minotaurs. Maybe we both have a thing. Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
I definitely have a thing.
So,
What, I like Minotaurs. I
got a
class,
19.
You know, everyone like
Wow.
I got a
22.
22. For
I
what
got
it's worth.
16.
y'all know your Minotaur shit. The DC
Yeah, we
was
do.
10, y'all. The DC was 10.
That
What?
seems
Why?
Queer.
The Minotaurs of Corvair, there are Minotaurs in other sections of the world that operate differently. The Minotaurs of this continent live primarily in Droan, which is the country of monsters to the west of Rayland. They are notorious for openly worshipping one of the Lords of Dust, the Overlord of Wrath, Rok-Tul-Kesh, who is the demon overlord of destruction, wrath, war, murder, slaughter, you know, all that shit. Right? Bad things. Right? And many of the Dromish monsters have tried to elevate themselves to show their civilization. The Minotaurs, not so. They worship their version of Rok-Tul-Kesh that they call the Horned King openly, and they are openly about bloodshed and murder in a way that many of the other, like the Gnolls of the Zanir Pact, have moved away from Rok-Tul-Kesh, have said, we will not worship him anymore. We hated being his servants. The Minotaurs love this bloodlust and are amongst the most dangerous denizens of Droam for those who are not part of that nation and do not consider the three daughters of Sorakel their sovereigns, right? This is very different, right? And he comes down and he says in a soft Dromish accent, "My name is Renbri, and I understand you have questions about Irtane visitors."
Yes. A jacket, specifically. I believe less than 2 days.
He says, "This is very difficult for me. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Renbri, and as you can probably tell from my accent, I am a recent immigrant from Droan. And
No, please.
Part of why I am here is that I have a concern and love for other beings. And while I would never normally talk about one of my clients, to speak of the Irtanes, considering your job as private investigators and your interest in their safety, I feel I must. So,
Thank you. Yes. No, your cooperation is very much appreciated. What can you tell us?
certainly. And you see that he absent-mindedly flicks his nose ring. Right?
Can I insight that? Is
Yeah.
something
Sure.
making him anxious? Like what's
Absolutely.
What's
No insight check necessary. He's anxious.
Okay.
good? Okay.
Great.
Could I? Yeah. No. Okay. Great. Cool.
He says, I don't know what you know or where to begin, so please, your questions, ask them. This is one of our interview sections that is going to happen during these mysteries, which means, audience, we're going to let the cast go. But I would love if you guys have questions for people that have information as the audience, ask them in the chat, and it is up to the cast whether or not they'd like to integrate those questions, but help them. Right? If you want to. Or if you just want to sit and be chill and not interact, that's cool too. But the offer's on the table. Please continue, cast.
So,
Well, why do please, how about you begin from the beginning? When did you begin servicing Jaquette?
Oh no. I want to be very clear. Jaquette is not a client.
Oh,
Octavia is very much a client and has been now for almost.
well, thank you very much. You do not need to go on any further. That's fine. That is.
No, this might be important.
Well, she pays the bills, so we should probably be careful.
Look.
We're here for Jaquette.
Yeah, we're here for Jaquette. Exactly, Jaquette. We're here because of Jaquette's disappearance. If she stops here on her way out the door, there's a reason.
So what is your relationship with Jaquette if she is not a client?
Well, I do not know how she knows her mother's secrets, but they are very close, and I'd heard a great deal about her. Her mother spends a great deal of time in my company. I actually have very much love my job. It has given me a security and the ability to make the lives of those who are not filled with pleasure filled with pleasure. And as a result, I have a attachment and kinship to my longest running clients, and Octavia is one of them. So when her daughter came to me 2 days ago and said that she needed knowledge from me, I was shocked. She did not ask to be my client, and I would have been unwilling to do so. That would have been a breach of Octavia's trust, which is very important to me. And she wanted to communicate with Da'ask. Now, you would all know about what Da'ask is immediately. Da'ask is, and we went over them a little bit last episode, but I'm going to go over them for my audience again. Da'ask is the newest and most dangerous of the crime syndicates in Sharn. They are connected to Droam. Nobody knows who actually runs them, but they are a monstrous crime syndicate of gnolls, ogres, minotaurs, harpies, medusas, lamias, everything, right? And they are extraordinarily dangerous. The other crime syndicates deal with things like blackmail and extortion and protection rackets. Da'ask is violence. Da'ask is murder. If you want somebody violently murdered to make an example of them, you go to Da'ask. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is alarming to hear that this 19-year-old girl is seeking out Da'ask.
What specifically did Jaquette want from the Da'ask?
You see him cringe. I don't like talking about my connection to Da'ask, but it seems essential. I grew up and lived for 16 years in Droam, specifically in the sovereignty, under the sovereignty of the Horned King. And that is correct spelling, bit split, Da'ask.
Great. I have good notes.
Not with the apostrophe. You're wrong. Sorry.
No, I have bad notes. You were
bit split's
correct.
correct.
Bit split.
Sorry. It is a place where only violence and strength are considered of use, and I have been always a soft and sensitive soul. I contacted a coyote, a smuggler of beings, and through Da'ask, and they got me away from there into Sharn, where I was hoping to explore my own proclivities. I worked in construction, I worked in enforcement, I worked in bodyguarding, and none of them worked for me until I discovered this line of work that has made me extraordinarily happy. But of course, due to how I got here, I have connections to Da'ask. It is at this point that you see him hold back. And again, no insight check required. This guy is an open book. He's not a good liar. And that's probably one of the things that makes him so compelling to the people that are his clients. And he is holding something back at this point. Do you want to press for it?
I am going to take his hand in mine. Give him the view. And say to him, baby doll, what we are doing could save Jaquette's life. You could be strong enough to help us, yes? I can see in your eyes how pure you are, how helpful and kind you are. We mean her no harm.
Make a persuasion check with advantage for me.
That is persuasion. Oh shit. That is 24. My persuasion's so
He blinks and he says, well, my connection with Dask is not positive, and I don't like talking about it, but they have, ever since I have been very successful in my businesses here, they have been blackmailing me, threatening to kidnap me and return me to my former station with the Horned King. And I can think of nothing more horrible. And they do not ask for more than I can pay, but they ask for as much as I can pay. And I am trapped. I am hoping someday that I will find a way to get out from under their thumb. But I do have to meet with them. I do have to travel there. I know where to meet Dask, and that is what Jaquette wanted to know. She showed up yesterday and said that she needed my help. And when she asked, she was asking where to go to meet with the leaders of Dask in this city.
No.
And, yes, please.
This is for you, John. He
Yeah.
said yesterday.
As opposed to 2 days ago.
2 days ago. I'm sorry. 2 days ago. I'm
Oh,
sorry, 2 days ago.
man. I was like, suspect number one, motherfucker. Caught you in the lie.
Wow,
No, you're right. No, that was
All right.
mine. That was my
Wow.
timing. It was yesterday
Good job,
for the
Dustin.
start of the campaign, and I forgot that we're a day later. It is 2 days ago. Thank you. Good call. Be listening that carefully, though. I'm mad that I got something wrong because I'm gonna be that kind of subtle in this game. So thank you.
All right, well, continue.
2 days ago. And he says, so she said that it was a matter of vital importance, that she would not be returning to her mother until she completed it. I knew how much Octavia would want her daughter to return, so I tried to have my cake and eat it too. So I told Jaquette where to go for this. I told her the safest spot to go for this because there are many dangerous spots. I sent her to Shamu'ukar, which is the safest place to contact Dask in Sharn. It is not Shamuk A'ar, sorry, double A, not double U. Shamuk A'ar. And it is a rough and tumble bar in Kyber's Gate in the Cogs. This is in the undercity of Sharn.
I'm sorry, the safest places in the cogs?
Yes, to contact Dask, yes.
Alright. Fuck.
Shamuka'ar is a bar that you not necessarily would have heard of. It's sort of a well-known secret, and you guys have none of you have connections to Dask, right? Before I go on,
No.
right? Great. And and none of you know about this bar. It is a neutral ground. It is a place where violence is prohibited. And in fact, the understanding is if anybody commits an act of violence inside Shamuka'ar, they are targeted by all the patrons, which is not a thing anybody would ever want. It is a dangerous place for cutthroats, sellswords, mercenaries, drug dealers, anybody that wants to work for Dask or does, or wants to hire Dask.
And what do you think that Jaquette wanted?
She would not say, though I pressed her. She said it was for the good of Brayland, which seemed a little strange to me. that the fate of the nation hung in the balance, I think were her exact words. She was very passionate about it. But at the same time, strangely not desirous of sharing information, which was wise of her, because the way I had my cake and ate it too is I immediately sent a message to the nearby Civis sending station to Octavia saying that I had seen her daughter.
Well, we are glad that you did that. That is how we found you. I have a question for you. I know
Please.
you may not know as much about Dask as may be pertinent, but we will find out. If somebody were to cause a subtle kind of trouble in Shamukar, not a fight, but trouble that must be removed, where would Dask take them? Do you know?
I don't think a subtle kind of trouble, they would be kicked out the door. But
Okay.
This is important. Dask is not subtle. Yes, they would read into the meaning of this, and if this subtle kind of trouble was intentional and was against Dask or was problematic, they would be very seriously dealt with. And Dask does not really do prisoners, if you catch my meaning.
I understand.
Oh, I need to know this. How would she know? How would Jaquette know you're involved with the Ask? You think a mother told him about a very close friend?
Octavia does not know my connection to Dask. She would try to pay them off. She would try to give them money, and I have no desire for that wonderful half elf getting involved in such drudgery.
Sugar. That makes this even more curious.
Yeah, then why
How would Jaquette know?
Yeah.
I ascribed it, if I may be clear, to racism. She did not come and think I had this much knowledge. She came as, I think I am the safest monster that she knows of. I am a monster that she knew would not harm her. And therefore, she thought, correctly, unfortunately, that I might have connection to other monsters who were less pacifistic.
But she's okay with her mother knowing about it. Or, throwing out there, she wants her mother to know about it. Did she ask you not to tell her mom?
She did not. And in fact, and I just made an insight check for him post-emptively. If I had to guess, I think it was a cruelty. I think she wanted her mother to know that I knew, or that she knew about me, and that she was heading somewhere dangerous.
So almost like a fail-safe.
Oh, more like mean-spirited. Like, I think she knew I would be honor-bound to tell her mother, and that her mother would be horrified that she knew about my relationship with Octavia, that Jaquette knew about my relationship with Octavia, and would be horrified to know that she was here and traveling in these disreputable realms.
I don't know this girl, but it kind of sounds like if she's clever, that maybe her choice was here, also maybe knowing how lonely her mom was, from what we've heard. Like, he might be the only person her mother actually trusts and cares about, from what we've heard.
I am not the only, but I am one of a few. And the other one is Jaquette, is probably the other major one. The two of them have always been very close. This acting out on Jaquette's part, I do not understand. They have always loved each other and shared so much.
Renbri, you talk with such knowledge and authority. How long has Octavia been your customer?
I have been in I have been out of Droam for about 2 years, and in this business for about a year and a half. Octavia found me very quickly.
And Octavia talks frequently of her daughter?
We spend about half of our time speaking. And during that, she speaks much of her daughter.
What else should you talk about?
That's none of you guys' business.
No.
I think this might
I
be
am
important.
not curious about pillow talk. That is of no interest to me. What is interesting to me is that this woman, this half-elf, spends quite some time with you. Not all of it is for pleasure. Some of it is to speak and to get things off of her mind. And if she is not getting things about her daughter off of her mind, I would like to know what else.
She gets things about her daughter off of her mind. Much of it is speaking about her loneliness. Much of it is just having a friendly and, if you don't mind my saying so, handsome and attractive ear to bend. She wants a big, strong man to care about her. Because her husband is neither of those first things and certainly does not care. And it is very much an arranged marriage. And Octavia also, she is a Valinar elf. At least half of her is. She has a warrior's spirit within her that is not taken care of here. She is from a fierce, warlike tribe of the Wood Elves of the southeast. And some of our time is, spent, sparring.
Guess
With
that's
you?
what the kids are calling it nowadays.
No, it is the only client I fight with. And I mean, sparring, we are very affectionate.
Yes,
but
there's no question about your professional courtesy towards Octavia.
But she wanted to learn how to fight, and I hold back because I could snap her like a twig. But I don't.
Renbury,
Yes.
fight who?
She
When-
seems lately concerned about her safety. I don't think Jaquette has disappeared before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she would care, Octavia would care, except that there's something she is not sharing even with me, a great anxiety, a great fear on her mind, and I believe she thinks that Jaquette is in more serious danger than normal.
You guys remember how when I asked her if she had any enemies, she faltered a little bit.
I do, yes.
There is something that she is not telling us, and it might
Yes.
be something that's very important.
Unless
Well-
it has anything to do with finding Jaquette, I do not see how it is a concern of ours.
Well, the way that Jaquette is going to ask, I think that
Foxy,
Mhm.
I understand, and I hear you. However, there is a specific hand that signs this check, and so we must be careful
I don't
with
know.
questions.
Yeah,
She can definitely
right.
Thanks for the money. But here's
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a question in the chat if you want.
Oh.
BitSplit has a question to ask.
That's a new one.
Well,
Go ahead.
Renbury, let me ask you another question then. Do you think one of her enemies has hired to ask? One of Octavia's enemies? The ones that she spars against?
I hope not. I do not think so, but if they have, Jaquette is in incredible danger. They do not shy back from hurting anyone, man, woman, child, orphan, anything.
Politician.
Politician, anybody that Dusk is hired to harm, they will do
But-
so to the best of their ability.
They won't harm her at Shamu Akar, will they?
No,
So where will they go next?
they will literally harm her right outside the door.
Oh shit.
It is inside the doors of Shamuka'ar that there is peace. But if you cause problems,
You are asked to step outside. Yes, this
and
is how we do
then
things in
and
civilized
then when you
society.
step outside, they murder you.
But
Well,
that
if
is
this-
not how we
right.
do things in civilized society. We break your jaw in civilized
no,
society.
And
we
this is-
break your kneecaps. We went over this.
So,
anyway,
I
No,
think-
jaw first.
I think if Jaquette is
I'll make
alive
it.
and well, you have reason to believe that Da'ask has not been hired. If Jaquette is injured, that could be many different people, but the ask is likely.
A possibility.
Maybe. So, you said her mom talks about her daughter a lot. Did she give any reason that she would possibly have this sort of change? This bit of bile grow up in her belly to want to hurt her mom so much? They're coming to you?
They have always been very close. Jaquette is 19, and up until 18, basically never left the Skyway. She stayed up in the shining city in the sky. It was only in the last year that she has been escaping and leaving to come to the lower city. If I had to guess, I think I would say that she has felt caged.
Has she found freedom from that cage in a substance?
She did not appear to be on any substances. She did appear to be full of zeal and zest and passion. If I had to guess, I would say that if she has an addiction, it is ideological.
And she's going to Ost for some reason. I hate to say it, but if she went there, we might be a little bit more behind than we want to be.
Well,
We should go there as soon as possible.
I agree. Renbury, you have been most informative and helpful and polite. You are a gentle soul, and I appreciate that.
Octavia's definitely. I'm glad that somebody has her
quite
back.
Yes, I'm quite happy for her that she has someone like you.
He smiles sheepishly, or perhaps cowishly, and me,
John.
and says, I take great pride in my job, and it is not simply about the giving of pleasure while people are here. I like to think that I make their lives better forever, always. And so it pleases me to have the first outside eye say that they think I have made her life better. That is incredibly moving for me. So, thank you.
Welcome to Sharn, the city of towers.
It's
a place where you can make yourself into anything you want.
And he smiles and says, "It took me some time, but I have. If only my financial troubles were resolved, there would be more freedom. But I am happy for what I have, as I have it."
I want to just like gauge when he says financial troubles. Like, is this like my credit card problem or my student debt problem?
This is the extortion. This is
Well,
the
no, I
extortion
mean
from
the
Dusk.
size of the extortion, though.
Sure.
Right?
What he said earlier was it is at least he's able to pay it, but it's as much as he can pay. You get the impression that he's paying for food, rent, and Dusk.
Yes, but I mean, like, they're charging him like shark loan interest, right? Like he's not
it's
actually
not
getting
interest.
out from under
It's
this.
just
No.
It's like a bill.
It's a bill. It is every month he is expected to pay a certain amount or they will expose him.
Okay.
And
True
and
extortion,
kidnap
not
him.
extortion.
It's extortion. It is not a debt. He paid. This is the thing. He paid the coyote fairly. The amount that was expected.
They're not like turning his debt on him now that he has arrived. He paid his debt off, and now they're like, "We're just gonna blackmail you."
Yes, indefinitely. Indefinitely.
So,
Okay.
just a quick question.
Killing some people tonight.
Who do we gotta kill to settle that debt?
Oh, don't
No.
no.
No, we mean...
No. Hey, we are law-abiding citizens.
I'm not.
We would.
There's a reason I'm a mortician.
We are law-abiding citizens. Who do we need to teach a lesson to?
He stops for a second, and I'm looking up a name really quick. Give me 2 seconds. I wasn't expecting to deal with this person, so here we are. He says, Kavala is the leader of Dusk in the city. She is an ogre mage, and the person I am personally paying this debt to, who is personally extorting me, And she runs Shamuka'ar.
Also, we may meet her. Okay.
I would not meet her if you had the chance. Nobody's life is made better by having Kavala involved in it.
I don't know. It kind of seems like I'd serve as a pretty nice distraction.
What?
Kind of mess things up a little bit.
Oh, this is a secondary objective. Renbri,
Okay.
you are a nice person, and I swear to you, on my sword and on my lucky pawn, that if I can help you, I will.
I'm touched, very touched. Look. If there's anything else, I've known what I've known, but if there's anything else, I care about Octavia a great deal. I would want to see her family do well, even her husband, as distasteful as he may be, and as much as I am not a personal fan, his well-being is her well-being, and that is of interest to me. All right.
Certainly.
So, are you done at Velvet's? Is there anything else you want to do here?
I think Ashley's done.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. It's
But
still... Sorry.
if someone wanted to, we're at the holodeck. If someone wants to take a dive,
Holodeck.
Ashley is not gonna judge or yuck anyone's yum.
Um,
In fact, I think is it close to noon?
We'll say between travel, time spent waiting, time talking, that it's like 11. Yeah.
Right. So once Renbri sort of excuses himself, I'll turn to my company and say, you have an hour for lunch. I will meet you outside. It's walk away. You do what you want. This is not my office. I cannot provide.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, if you wish to come with me, I don't know. I'm feeling pork.
Okay.
Anybody
yeah,
else? Yes, pork. Okay, great.
Pork.
There are lots of street vendors. The nearest one that has the finest smell is I'll get to you in a second there, and I want to do the pork while I have it in my mind. There is a Warforged with a built-in metal chef's cap that is clearly somebody that was built to make food during the last war and has done their best. They got a little metal cart with a whole-ass pig just sitting on a roast that he's turning, and when people come over, he cuts off a slice. It's got a little apple in its mouth, and he says, "Enjoy. This is my finest and favorite dish. It is what I make every day. Roast pork, anyone? Well salted and spiced, honed over years of experience."
Salted pork, you say?
Indeed.
Good advertising.
Yes, please. In
Oh,
a euro, if you
his
you
left
have it.
hand flips in and flips out and is a butcher's cleaver. So he slices off with a left hand made of pure metal and then switches back over to hand it out to people, right? And it's the move is like perfectly mechanical and ongoing without any sort of fatigue on the right hand, right? Great. So, Theron, you had something.
Sure. I just want to do something. On my way out, I still have that pin on me. So as I'm walking by, each person is turning into that, like, young hobgoblin, my daughter, over and over again. And slowly as it's happening, I start to walk faster and faster. And their face starts to become more pale, and the eyes become more black, like they're in between changing almost as it's happening. And I rush into a bathroom, rip the pin off, and throw it away.
Great.
And splash water in my face before I leave.
Great. Delaria, did you have something?
While we're eating pork, I just want to be turned to Ashley for a second and be like, I didn't mean anything by that.
Oh no. I understand. It is if I have a reign of 20% of my thoughts on any given day, it is a great day. thoughts run rampant.
I just want to
I
see
understand.
you happy.
The fact that you desire me being that is one of your deepest desires is so touching. Deliria, I wish the changeling had turned into you saying I am happy.
I know like 5 living people now. What? Oh, sorry.
We will get you out more often.
Glazed over.
No. You are fine. Welcome
really
to the land of the
excellent
living.
pork. Yeah, it's
His
nice
salted pork is particularly good.
Real good.
All right. You're actually going to be passing, but the chat is mentioning like the Warforged bars and slam poetry. There's actually a place where that kind of stuff happens, the Red Hammer, and it's in the Cogs. You wouldn't be far from the Red Hammer, which is kind of delightful. All right, Foxy, is there something you're doing before leaving?
Before leaving? No, I was getting the salted pork.
Okay, great. I all right. It's time
however,
to decide.
I did notice. I rolled for it. I did notice.
Me?
Yeah. What is your character's name?
Theron. It's
Theron.
Theron or Jax.
Goodness.
Either way.
Jesus. I did notice Theron taking just a little bit longer to get himself together than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Did you duck in to see what was happening, or did you notice that he left late?
Notice that he left late.
I had one last thing I wanted to do on the way up.
Let's do it.
I just realized it. The last person who is there, hopefully no one notices it. Y'all can roll for it. Is Valeria. Is one of the last ones. And I just walk past the last one and just mumble, sorry. And keep walking out.
Great. I love that. Perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. So the time has come, audience, for us to determine our next location. Now, Shamukaar is an obvious choice, but there might be other things at the 3 other locations that we discussed previously, which are going to Jaquette's room in the Skyway, going to the Boromar Dream Lily Den that she was also seen at, and going, what was the last one? Going to the Laisha estate.
And then you also, did you put Jaquette's room in there as well, too?
Yeah, that was the first one I said, Jaquette's room in the Skyway. It's fine. You're busy tapping away to create this.
Do you want me to put Shakar, or can I put just
you
down
can
to
put
the
whatever,
cogs? Cool.
Down to the cogs is fine, yeah.
Perfect. All right.
But like before, you were going to have to go to the cogs and explore. Mm-hmm. Now you know where she is in the cogs, if she's still there. So those are
she's alive.
If she's alive, this is a very dangerous place she's gone.
Yeah.
So don't where to next, y'all?
As like with a mouthful of salted pork, reminiscing on there's just like a giant clear circle. You see like the faint tracing of some ash, and there's a little glint in Ashley's eye as he's eating this salted pork, munching, and mostly talking, I guess, to Deliria and Foxy, because maybe Theron is still making his way out. So it seems quite clear to me that we should go down to the cogs, no? I mean, there are clearly other options we could go. We have yet to see Jaquette's room. We've yet to go to the Dream Lily, but it seems the ask is not something to deal with lightly. I feel like that is pertinent, no?
As Foxy takes a big chunk out of that, just a ripping chunk out of the salted pork, and just a little drop of delicious oil drops from her perfect chin onto a titty, just one titty, and I don't know about all that, because if she has left Shamukaar in any type of way, we would know, and it doesn't sound like those ruffians are going to tell us where. Maybe we should go to her room and see if she's left any clues for us there.
What, you want to read through this little girl's diary?
Once you have a kid, you'll realize that they write a lot more than you.
Wait, you're trying to tell me that you read through your kid's diary?
No, I have no children.
She can't write yet.
No,
she can. Yeah,
Are you going?
Wait, the little one does not know how to write?
Not yet. She's only 2,
Oh.
3.
Totally explains why your grandpa
we could. Do you want a tutor?
If you're offering.
Oh, certainly. I will give you friend price.
Oh, well then after this job, eh?
Okay.
We pick up in the mid-afternoon, a little afternoon, as the rains continue falling. It's bleak and miserable, but as you're getting lower, it's more drippy and less rainy. Right? You're in lower Sharn. The rains are hitting the upper towers, and at this point, it's gutters and dripping water that is like sometimes brown, and and
we're in the cogs.
You're not there yet, actually.
Oh
no! You're having to pass north up through Lower Memphis Plateau. Kyber's Gate is actually underneath Central. So you're doing a little bit of walking. It's easier to walk. You don't need to hire a sky coach. You're trying to get to one of the elevators that go down. And as you're trying to cross on one of the great bridges, you see a huge crowd. Right?
Okay.
A massive crowd. It seems that the bridge has been blocked for some reason. And there are lots of people. This is the bridge between Dragoneyes and Firelight, which is in southern Memphis Plateau. And everybody is angry and furious. There's stopped carts. There's all sorts of stuff. People, you cannot see what the cause of this disturbance is. You can try to take a way around. You might be able to resolve whatever it is and move through.
Hey John, quick question.
What's up?
What's the influence of the watch in this area? Would it be...
The watch exists.
Cool. I'm going to like pull out my badge. I assume the watch have badge. And go. Watch. What's going on?
A dwarf looks up at you and says, some sort of political demonstration. They are saying there's some shifters causing problems, not allowing people to cross this bridge out of some sort of protest for shifters' rights. Ugh. This is why we should get rid of all of them in the first place.
All right, you go sit over there. All right.
Can we get rid of him first?
Yeah, hold on. Like, who hears this? Do we all hear this?
I think Theron walked up on his own.
Oh, I can't get big and scary. That's no fun.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a badge to pull, so I wouldn't personally.
Right.
Follow. I just didn't know how loud this dwarf was yelling.
I'll go sit over there, but what you need to do is you need to get these people off the bridge. If you've got this authority, get them off the bridge.
Don't tell me how to do my fucking job if you want to keep your legs, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were part of our side, civilization.
I don't have a side. I'm part of the fucking watch. You got a coin on you? That's what I thought. Get moving.
And he leaves. He's clearly going to try to take the much longer way around and be late to work or whatever he's late to. But there's lots of upset people. Traffic has been stopped.
Right. All right, let's do the protest up there somewhere. Shifters rights. Bless. Do you guys want to go help? Or stop it?
Well,
What
I guess we have a job right now.
Get to the other side. It'll be faster if we go through.
No, let's let them observe their rights to protest. Let's take the longer way around.
Yes.
All right. As you prepare to leave, you hear something that is clearly magically amplified. This sort of disruption is exactly what it's like living under our conditions. We are not allowed to go peaceably about our lives without worry of being disrupted. And it is not merely inconvenient, it is also about our very lives and safety. You have allowed the Silver Flame to persecute us without stepping in, and we will not be silent any longer.
John, is there a dialect to this character?
Sure.
Familiarity?
You feel a little bit that it's like being stripped by the magic that is amplifying it, and that this might not be their speaking voice, but there might be a light dialect. Yes. Roll a insight or perception.
Cool.
Especially your time in Sharn. Actually, no, you're new to Sharn, aren't you? You're not.
4 years.
4 years, it's not enough to get advantage on this.
You got it. But that was, you said insight of perception?
Mm-hmm.
Great. It's 16.
The lightest north edge accents, which isn't surprising as that is the primary shifter ghetto of the city.
Gotcha. Huh. Alright. You know, it just strikes me. If you guys thought that she leaves, Jaquette leaves, right during these tensions growing, right? Right as the Silver Flame is making a move on the shifters, sort of pushing up tensions higher. Do you think she might know this person?
Which?
The one
person?
shouting on the streets.
You think
said,
that
he said,
our quarry, Jaquette Irtain, has connections to this person
Yeah. Think about it.
shouting on a
Think about it.
bridge?
Like, she suddenly is filled with zealous pride right after one of the most tense Fathin's Falls we've ever dealt with. She suddenly changes her life, runs down to one of the most violent gangs in the city, possibly to do something.
Aaron, I think you might be onto something.
I think there is something to this, yes, but then why go to the ask, not the shifters? If she is
I mean, if you
filled
want
with
something done,
a zeal.
I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't go to protesters. Want something done, you go to someone who hurts somebody. At least in this city.
Another demand goes out. And the Silver Flame is using illegal weaponry to harm and torment us. And the Sharn Watch has done nothing.
I'm making
Aaron, is
my
that
way to the
true?
bridge right now.
Yeah, it's 100%
Right.
true.
No, I don't have time to.
So you're
ask-
pushing through
Yeah.
the crowd. Athletics check.
Okay, sure.
And if you guys
Anyone
want to
who
follow
wants to
in his
follow.
wake, yeah,
Oh,
if
I'm
you-
following. Apologize.
Please,
Thank you.
I am.
Sorry.
I'm
I'm so
taking
sorry.
the time.
I'm so sorry.
Athletics or
I
strength?
just,
athletics.
Oh, it's the same.
Excuse us.
A
I'm so sorry.
12?
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much.
It takes you a little while to push through, but you get to the front, and what you see is that there's
I
a
think you.
um, the bridge is only like 50 feet across. I'm bad with distances sometimes. It's a 4-lane road, right, as it were,
Okay.
right? Like it's about that big, right? And it's completely blocked off by a line of shifters who are linked arm to arm, and they're all muscular, and they're all wearing different team badges. They're all Herzak players. There's only one shifter that is not, Herzak being a traditional shifter
No,
sport.
is this? Yes.
And
Thank you
in
for saying that.
absolutely. And in front of this, with the bullhorn, a magical bullhorn that is amplifying her voice, is a huge bear of a woman, literally. She is a bear shifter. She is in her shifted form, and she looks very much like a 6.5 foot tall bear person. Right? She is wearing a quarterback, basically, like the lead of a shifter team, and she's speaking into this bullhorn. As soon as you see her, you couldn't recognize her by voice.
Wargrave University jersey?
It is not.
Oh.
She is very much part of professional Herzak.
Oh,
This is
shit.
This is Bear, and you've heard of her now that you've seen her. Bear is a major shifter activist that has, usually during the weeks after Fathin's fall, the shifters go into hiding because the Silver Flame is persecuting them. Using her celebrity as an athlete, Bear has been demanding that shifters go out, make themselves public-facing, make themselves a problem for the people that are unconcerned with this, and thereby hopefully end the yearly persecution of shifters around this date. Now, what it's doing in practice is that it has extended this period of persecution. There are more people more interested, but there are more people more aware of what's
People are
happening as
talking
well.
about it.
People are talking about it,
Yeah,
and
that's important.
and the incidences of violence are actually down, but the actual things that are happening are deadly, in part because of these new deadly magical weapons that have been being found on the streets.
And that's why Ashley has suddenly switched course, gone back, and pushed through the crowd. he is going to make his way directly up to Bear and politely motion that he would like to speak with her. Just to...
She squints at you, and you're tall, right?
Yeah.
How tall is Ashley?
I don't know if I wrote it down. 6'2".
Okay, Bear is 6'6", 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
So she's bigger than you, and you're big, right?
I'm me-sized.
Yeah, I'm 5'6". You're all huge, right?
I want to be big too.
And are you tall, Delaria?
Delaria is going to just cosmetically get bigger with her rune.
Sure.
Just
Are you
fixed.
taller than Bear at this point when you do this?
No. Yes, I actually am.
Great. So Bear stops. Now, something important to note that's a little subtle about this is that the national animal of Brayland is the bear. What they call their beloved king is the old bear. Lovingly, because he's this big, strong dude that fought on the front lines of the last war. So this is like a protester that looks like a bald eagle in America, right? They are more than, and not dressed as, they are a bald eagle, right? They are the national symbol of patriotism, right?
It's an American Aarakocra.
Sure, exactly. The Aarakocra that has been all over the internet for the past couple of years. Yes. Have you not seen this? It is a very patriotic.
I think I've seen
the Aarakocra.
Ghost of like a stat block.
I love
or something, maybe.
Carter,
Yeah,
you just natively came up with that when it's the thing that already quite exists.
Yes, quite.
John, by technical definition,
Parallel
I
thinking?
am 10 feet tall.
10 feet tall, so you're
10?
huge.
Feet?
Huge!
Yeah, no.
right.
I'm
We love a rune
large
night.
Because huge is 15.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. You are not technically huge.
I am
You are
large, I am
figuratively
not
huge.
Yeah.
You are very figuratively huge, though. Yeah, exactly. You're as tall as my room, and that's terrifying. Probably taller. Anyway, great. Bear stops and says, "If you are intending to threaten me, you will find that we are far stronger than we appear."
No, I have no intention of fighting you. I merely have a question for you based off of something that you just said.
I'm listening.
You say that the Silver Flame, the church, is using illegal weapons, as you say, against
yes.
you.
Well, everybody knows that Da'ask and Boromar have been fighting each other with these hyper-advanced magical weapons made in some cheap fashion to flood the market. And but that's one thing for those gangs to be harming each other. It's dreadful, it's awful, and the Sharn Watch should be doing something about it. Are you visible, Theron?
Yeah. No.
You can hide behind me, honestly.
No, I'm gonna.
Great. And the
Yeah,
Sharn Watch should be
clearly not.
doing something about that too. But that is criminals harming criminals. And this is something entirely different. We civilians, shifter civilians who pay our taxes and are as much a part of this civilization as anybody else, are being persecuted by a religious minority in this city that wishes to see us exterminated. And they are somehow being given the tools or acquiring the tools to do so, and the Watch is doing nothing.
And this is why I became slightly agnostic after the war. Right. That's a lie.
I would caution you to just leave your personal beliefs out of this conversation.
No, I'm supporting the cause here.
I support the cause too.
I got big
the
for
Silver
the
Flame
bigots.
is giving out these weapons. Have
I
they
know.
said that? I
I've heard nothing.
Foxy's been clutching her silver arrowhead pendant so
There-
that it's not visible.
Bear looks at Foxy. Oh, it's not visible?
It's not visible.
And she says, "I don't know if the Silver Flame is handing them out, but I do know that zealots of the Silver Flame have access to these weapons and are using them to kill shifters."
And surely the church is doing something about this, yes?
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a more corrupt organization than the Church of the Silver Flame. I'm sorry, there is one exception. the Sharn Watch. So, they are the second most corrupt organization that I know about. And they are publicly...
about the watch.
The local cardinal is publicly speaking against the violence, but the local prefect is making it very clear that it is the Silver Flame's will that we be exterminated. So are they handing out the weapons directly? No. Are they either looking the other way or inciting violence against us? Absolutely. She's going to make a perception check. And she's going to say, I see you're doing your best to hide it, my fellow shifter. But I see you're also a devotee of the very religion that seeks to exterminate us. I bear you no ill will, but I hope that someday you can cease worshipping the god of our oppressors and move on to working with us for freedom for all shifters. She got a 23 perception. I felt like it was fair.
Wow.
That's fine. Yeah.
Wow.
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 I understand that there is a lot of blood drawn and spilt between shifters and the Silver Flame. But I don't believe that we can't coincide. My mom and dad, they raised me in this faith, and they only taught me how to be good to one another. There's something for that.
Make a persuasion check.
It's a 19.
19. She says, I understand how you might feel that way, and it's not an unreasonable way to feel. But hear me out. You have not spoken with Prefect Aloysius Eardonley, the gentleman who's been calling for this violence. I believe that if you did, you couldn't possibly believe that the Silver Flame has any good meaning for another human being. You go talk to that gnome. He'll talk to you because you're a member of the Silver Flame. But you will see the hate he has in his heart for you simply because of the circumstances of your birth as a fellow shifter. I do not believe it is possible for a shifter to walk out of a conversation with Prefect Aloysius Eardonley and still have faith.
Should I show up like this?
You will find that the Church of the Silver Flame is highly militant and will likely ask you to remove your weaponry or other shows of strength or violence prior to entering their church.
Oh, I thought your words were magnificent. I was acting as a robot.
She says,
will.
Please.
I will meet this dwarf that you speak of.
Gnome.
It's a gnome.
Gnome.
A gnome.
That you speak of. What is the gnome's name actually? Let me write it.
Prefect Aloysius Eardonley.
What a
I wrote it down
name.
already in my notes on that shit.
Aloysius.
That's a good one.
And you've heard the name. He's a major preacher. He's got one of the highest positions in the Silver Flame in the city. He's predominantly in the lower class districts and known for dealing with the upper class Church of the Silver Flame is very attend services, pay the money, don't really care. He deals with the faithful. Prefect Eardonley deals with the faithful of the lower classes and the lower reaches. Does that make sense?
Would he be Father Aloysius or Father what?
Prefect.
Father Prefect?
No.
How many
he's no father.
prefects?
No father. Prefect is
No daddies here.
no fathers.
Prefect Aloysius is
Prefect is his title.
How many are there in Sharn?
There's probably one, I believe. I don't know exactly, but it would be something like one for every district. Not district, one for every ward, so maybe 6.
Okay.
So he's high.
So he's
Yeah,
not the only.
Yeah. He's not the only,
Okay.
but he is, and the rest of them aren't much better. He's just louder. Does that make sense?
He's a bishop,
He is-
not a cardinal. Is that correct?
That would be correct. Cardinal, there's a cardinal of Sharn.
Yeah.
And he is not that.
Yeah.
and prefect is also means he's part of the Templar Order. Why don't you guys make a religion check since we're being very specific here?
Yeah.
If you follow more Dan Fine Cup of Streaming, 14. More of a Phelps,
16.
more of a somebody that calls out for the harm of people that are different. Like sorry,
I got advantage because of damn fine, and I'm gonna use it right now because I got a 9.
Advantage because I grew up in this faith.
Yes. I think I said that. If you're a devotee of the flame, you get advantage.
I'll run again. I'll run again. I'll do it again. I have no problem doing
18.
that again.
Well, that is
Deliria is a 17. Devotee of the silver. Was.
Yeah. So I got a 16 initially, then I rolled a 3, so we're going with the 16.
I got a
18.
17.
So there are a number of different sects of the Silver Flame. It's vaguely Catholic, but not quite, right? And there are there are 3 different orders. What's important here is that he's a member of the Templar Order, which is about putting evil to the sword. They are active, right? They're a section of the church that does not believe in waiting for people to come to harm and then avenging it. They are about, no, we can stop people from being hurt by finding the evil where it lies and killing it beforehand. They are, what's the word from Minority
Which
Report?
would, in theory, be lycanthropes, not shifters.
Correct.
In theory. Okay.
But this, you haven't heard any of his speeches, but he's
racist,
almost
shitty little gnome.
Right. And by the name, you can guess he's Thrainish, like from the heart of the church.
Yeah.
He has a very Thrainish name.
What's
not Zalargo? He's not a gnomish from where the gnomes are from. He's almost certainly Thrainish.
So I'm sure that this group has been beating this drum for a very long period of time. What made his words explode now?
So he's always had explosive language, right? But the combination of the deep anti-shifter sentiment that follows Fathin's fall, combined with highly lethal weaponry on the market. So when he says, his language is something like, and all the shifters need to be driven out of Sharn so that we can have... Sorry, I'm not even doing his voice. All the shifters need to be dragged out of Sharn so that we can have peace and civilization. And we need to do whatever we need to do at any given time to make sure that we can all live in peace. And the shifters are preventing that. So as a loyal servant of the flame, you need to go and make sure those shifters are not comfortable living in the same city as us. Right? And then somebody says, wow, somebody murdered somebody because of what you said. And he'll say, I never said to use violence. That was their own decision. Does that make sense? So he does not directly call it violence, but the combination of cheap and easy weaponry on the market, combined with the religious fervor of this moment, combined with the long-standing call to action against the shifter communities, combined with the fact that there might be an election in North Edge in a few days' time that is going to remove a shifter from public office and replace it with a racist human, a human supremacist, is inflaming all of this at this moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my combination of Firebrand Preacher and Gnome, and I was pretty proud of it. I've been working on it.
Gnome is pretty good.
Yeah. So thank you for the inspiration. No, yeah. I grew up in the South.
Oh, I know.
It sounded like Little Gideon, but racist little Gideon.
We come from the same South.
Gideon!
I thought it was, yeah.
Precious little
like,
Gideon!
I wasn't intending Little Gideon, but a racist Little Gideon would not be a bad way. And older. He's older, too.
Yeah.
So a middle Gideon.
But middle Gideon. Sure. Well, he's a gnome, so it's the correct size.
Gideon made it so difficult to watch that damn show.
Oh man, he was too
like
so
there's
good,
the
though.
Disney gender binary issues, and then there's that little boy.
Right. Anyway. Bear says, you know what? You're good people. And my intention is to stop unassuming people from being able to pass through here without thinking about the plight of the shifters. You're clearly doing good work. I would ask you to reconsider your faith, young fox shifter. But obviously, I'm not here to stop good people from doing good work. If you need to pass through, you can pass through.
I would also
Thank you.
argue.
No, I
that-
appreciate the gesture, and we support you in the cause. And I move through the bridge. We're going.
Great. And she says, "Oh, one last thing. Every 2 days until the Sharn Watch finds the source of these weapons that are causing us such harm, there will be another demonstration like this, and we would love allies to be a part of it.
Oh.
It is the 2nd. There will be another one on the 4th, and the 6th, and the 8th, and the 10th, and so on until a
Yes.
change happens."
Are you doing the same bridge?
No.
How
But-
would one find out? How would an ally find out about what bridge to protest at? Or is it just pick
go to
the
North
dealer's
Edge.
choice?
Go to North Edge.
Okay.
We will be putting ourselves together there. And you see that this isn't the only line of shifters, and she calls out in a bullhorn to let you folks through. There's another line of shifters on the other side of the bridge. There's
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
blocking traffic on each
There's gotta
side.
be at least.
Exactly.
At least two.
There's 2 sets. There's like 24 shifters in each group, right? And
Full
like
teams.
Also
All day,
remember
huh?
Delaria's helmet.
yeah.
Look, you could just step over. You're fucking 10 feet tall.
Oh, I know, but I did that so we
Just
get
take a little
attention
skip, and you're good.
and like separate us from the bigots a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Like,
No.
it was a
You.
goal.
Yeah.
There was
It was,
us, and then there's the chaff, and it's
I
because
saw
of you.
bear and I saw power move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. You pass through the lines. You see there are just as many people upset on the other side.
Oh.
As
There's
we're in
a-
the middle of
there's-
the bridge, Ashley
yeah.
just gives a little thumbs up to Deliria on the way back.
Hey, John, I just make it through?
Yeah. If you're not showing your badge and
Not
you're
showing
with
my
this
badge.
group, yes.
All right.
She has no reason. In fact, she'll give you a nod. Hobgoblins do not have it any better than shifters in this city. It's less religious and more political and racist, but it's still not a better time, right? They're just this is just not the right now. It's anti-shifter holiday season, right? So there's a special emphasis on it. But hobgoblins and goblins and honestly, the monstrous denizens of Droam have immigrated into the city don't have it much better. It's all the same thing. This city belongs to humanoids, not these freaks. It's just filtered in different ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you've dealt with your own.
Gotcha.
Right? In your time here. Great. You pass through. You're able to make it to one of the great floating discs that goes down to the top of the cogs. There's a Sharn watch group that is very not caring. This is boring business at the entrance to the cogs, the Kyber's Gate. They look at you and they say, "You know, it's dangerous down there. Carry your weapons, take care of yourselves. This is the end of the Watch's jurisdiction. So if someone murders you or your friends, don't come crying to us, all right?"
That's really
That is
reliable.
very useful information. Thank you
Are you
so
Yeah,
much.
saying
go
if
on
I
through.
die, I shouldn't
Does
come crying to
somebody
you?
pay you to say that?
We're
We
here.
do.
We're here to
We
be on
do.
this. We are here to be at
Oh.
this point to
Yes,
make sure.
and we thank you so much for your
Oh.
service. Thank
yeah.
you, Dick. And I just I don't
I
know,
recognize
head
any of
to
them?
the fucking
No,
elevator.
and they don't recognize you. This is a very this
Good.
isn't part of your beat.
Honestly,
I don't know them personally, but you know them.
I wasn't sure if I had known some of them.
No.
Down
You
to
don't-
this beat, right?
You don't know them personally, but you know them. The Sharn Watch are not great.
Yeah. of
Ashley,
course.
you really feel like the funds might be better in social services, right?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, the sad fact of life in Sharn is that there's no justice from the Sharn Watch. The reason there's so many inquisitive agencies and the reason that Ashley's in business is because the Sharn Watch doesn't do anything to make the lives of its people any better. And so if you have a mystery or you need something that needs to be handled, the Watch aren't going to do it, but somebody like Ashley might. And especially
Hey,
if you pay them.
Look, you could also pay the watch and they'll take care of it.
No.
It's
No, they
a little
will
more
Yeah.
not.
expensive.
That
No,
does
hey,
not give me
You are
assurance.
the exception proves the rule. You've heard this saying.
How do you think you
Yes.
can't buy a house in this town?
You are
You
the
seen the interest
exception.
rates?
What?
You took a shot.
You look at property down here.
Point of order, the reason the property is so expensive is that so many noble families have bought so much of it, and 50% of the property in Sharn is owned by the Taines. So it's, if you want to complain about property prices, it's your boss's fault. Well, they're family, right?
Yeah.
So,
someone got a bribe to pay.
right. All right, so then you make it down into Kyber's Gate. This is a filthy tenement district where many of the non-human residents of the city live. Now, most of the citizens are goblins and hobgoblins who are used to living underground, but this is also where the gnolls and medusas and minotaurs and such that have emigrated from Droam live. Life is fucking cheap. I cannot express. Dead bodies in the street, rats eating them, all manner of illicit things on display. There's actually one of them that I want to do. What's up, Delaria?
What's the weather right now?
Underground.
Is there any
Oh, really?
cash in on the deceased that would more accurately help me in this time?
Actually, I want to add something that I hadn't considered as you asked about weather and underground, which is grates and drains and filthy water flowing through the streets.
Sewage?
Sewage is actually magically taken care of in the city, and is one of the few things that isn't a huge problem. Because of the disease and everything, there are magical sewers that funnel all of it into the Dagger River and out of the city. And as long as you bring your slop to the appropriate funnels and such, it was not a problem. There would be some, because the situation is bad enough that it is, and people might pour some stuff into the street. But considering how awful it is, it's one of the few civic things that everybody in Sharn shares. Get rid of your feces, right?
Right.
As we say.
And there's
Got
not
one thing going for
and,
it.
and
As they say in
Sharn
Sharn.
doesn't really have sewers. Sharn has what's the word I'm looking for? Shoots.
Not ladders, everybody.
I was gonna say,
Shoots.
what about the ladders?
Right.
Ladders? None.
None.
There are ladders for the maintenance people. They're not great ladders. So anyway, one thing that will happen though is a harpy, a furred woman with a beautiful face, a twisted body, and big bat wings, is going to say, "You all don't look like you're from around here. Can I interest you in some dragon's blood? I mean, that's why people come down here, isn't it?"
Is it the 5 extra feet, honey?
Oh, it's not that. It's the cleanliness.
What'd you got with
What do I
dragon's
roll
blood?
to see if I know about dragon's blood already?
Sure, you all know a little about dragon's blood. I'll explain it, and if you want to know more, maybe we'll roll.
Okay.
Dream Lily is the drug of choice. It's a bit like opium. It is the drug that exists. It causes pleasant hallucinations, the removal of all pain. The Boromar family controls it.
And Delaria's lost a few friends from it.
Exactly. Dragon's blood is new in the last 6 years since Dask moved in, and it is the opposite. It is a drug that gives minor magical powers and a feeling of invulnerability and power to anybody that imbibes it. There's 3 different kinds: black, green, and red. Green, black, and red in ascending order of potency. Nobody knows what's in it, except that it's not really dragon's blood, right? But it does give people weird powers, open up strange things. Some people have been known to evince dragon marks that hadn't existed prior, as long as they had the propensity of it from their family, right? But people will get weird magic powers from taking dragon's blood. The other thing is that it's wildly addictive in a way that even Dream Lily isn't. You want to be on dragon's blood again after being off of it. Your body wants it, your mind wants it. It is an extraordinarily dangerous and awful drug. And the Sharn Watch has done exactly nothing about it.
Typical.
There's that.
So, you're being offered dragon's blood by this harpy.
I have a follow-up question, dear. Just a very
Sure.
quick one.
What's up?
So we're not necessarily looking for dragon's blood. However, I'm just kind of curious of who looks for it in the sewer. No names. Just
That's very
you know,
that's very naive of
essence.
you. Very naive of you, honey.
Of
You
course.
seem like a lower class person, and that's
I
fine.
totally am, even if I could literally smush you with my foot right now.
She is going to sing a snippet of song. I would like you're going to make a save. I wasn't planning on doing a harpy, so give me a second to pull up those stats.
Don, you can't give me a harpy. You know that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. She's going to sing a little bit. I think it's a wisdom save. I wasn't planning on it, but wisdom save. It's going to be a low DC, though. I'm going to set it in a second if I don't find it. This is moving all my books to the store. Grumble, grumble, grumble. And not having just books in front of me and having to use a tablet. Oh my god, I'm in G forever. Did you know there's a bunch of giants in Dungeons and Dragons?
Did you know I'm currently a giant in some ways?
I'm almost there. So let's say DC 14. I'm just going to call it, and when I find it, it'll be different.
And would that be
Wisdom, please.
just regular straight wisdom save, correct?
Wisdom save, please.
Just what kind of wisdom would it be exactly? Just
Wisdom
curious.
save.
Like if we were to categorize it.
It's
You
DC
would-
11, and it's a mind-affecting effect. And actually, it's going to affect all of you.
I got a 4.
Great.
Oof.
You're ruined.
Perfect.
You said wisdom
Affecting
save.
all of us?
I hope
Wisdom.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crack of my neck was
I got a
audible.
fucking 19.
You're fine.
Like, that's an 11.
You're fine. DC 11.
Cool, that's an 18.
Great. So only Delaria feels
Of course.
magically compelled to kneel and get next to her and just be as close to this harpy as possible.
How
and she-
large is that harpy?
Human sized.
That
medium.
is a sight.
Yep. And she touches your cheek and she says, you had said something that caused her to do this and I lost it in the rules. What did you do?
I was trying to inquire for more information about her drug dealing.
Great. But you threatened her or something.
Yeah, you said someone so big as me or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I could squash you like a bug, is
Yeah,
what you
I
said.
could step on you.
And she's and you could and she
Well,
I was
says
flirting.
and she says only if I let you.
Well, yeah.
And then she releases the magic.
course.
She releases the magic, and she says, "Now look, you asked a question, and I want to be precise about it. Dragon's blood is premium goods, and people know that you can get it here. Lots of people, you'd be surprised, lots of people come down here to acquire these drugs because it's where to get it.
I can imagine.
Are you
I
the
just-
only supplier of this blood?
Oh, no, absolutely not. There's so many people everywhere.
Then how come
Yeah.
you are the first to find us?
John.
Yeah,
What
but
makes
you're
you so
rather
good at your
eager.
job?
Because
What
you
makes-
just entered and she's right here and she's clearly a go-getter. She's got a good street corner.
I like her.
John, quick question. As
May
a
I
person-
ask you your name?
Oh, never mind.
Unless you want to have
Sure.
a poll for her name right now.
Why? I was gonna do Scarlet Feather, but
Scarlet
if
Feather.
somebody's got a better than Scarlet
You're gonna
Feather
get
in the
Chad.
chat,
You're gonna get Chad. Stick with Scarlet Feather.
Scarlet
No,
Feather.
no. You would be surprised of what she can generate. So
All
give
right.
her the opportunity.
All right, we'll hold. We'll hold.
going once, going twice. Scarlet Feather, chat,
Ruby.
chat is fine. Ruby.
I
All
like
right,
I actually like Ruby Scarlet Feather.
there you go.
Okay.
I think as a I was like thinking if I wanted a last name, Ruby Scarlet Feather, and she does indeed have bright red plumage, a little bit like a robin.
Hmm.
I said bat wings before and I lied. It's feathered wings.
Everyone's got these precious stones for this.
All
character.
Yeah,
precious gems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Got those
and
precious
she's
gems.
Love a
she's gonna say,
I love
why,
my Valentine.
why are you so interested in the goings on and how things work? You looking to deal? Daosk can always use new dealers, especially those that can walk upstairs.
You know what? Like honestly, it could be a nice side gig.
I hold the phone, the hold the sending stone because we are not here to pick up a side gig. I will admit I am curious.
All right, hold on.
Out of character,
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
He's trying desperately to like fake his way into Da'ask, like basically trying to neg into becoming a dealer.
Sure.
Why you need to fake it when Delaria can make it?
So,
Or
I'm not
maybe
gonna
he'll
require a
just
check,
shut up
and
if
he's gonna
anyone
say,
wants to.
or she's gonna say, look, if that's what you want, it's very easy.
Oh,
You just
well,
go to Shamukar and say you're interested, and they'll hire you. There's no reason to be penniless in this city. Not when Da'ask will hire anyone, regardless of their background.
that is very nice.
I'm gonna produce some coin and just put it in their hand.
Great.
How much though?
How much do I have?
You have enough, right? I like to. Money is a big
No.
enough problem in my real life. I hate counting
Yes.
coins.
Exactly.
and,
Too.
Going to. Can you just pick an arbitrary number from right now, and
So,
I will
wait.
keep track for
So
me?
let's say 1 silver. 1 silver would be a nice tip.
Mhm.
1 gold would be wild. Anything more than that would be insane and would get you attention from everybody here knowing you had that kind of money.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give 1 gold to her.
This is...
Shit.
It's gone.
Thank you. I know someone may have passed through here. I know the spot that you're in right now. They were walking to this direction. They're about this height. I give the description of jacket. You happen to encounter?
Yeah, in the leather and the leggings, the fishnets.
The leather and the fishnet.
She was trying real hard to look. She was trying real hard to look tough and like she belonged down here. But I can tell you, they were. She wasn't fooling nobody.
She purchased anything from you?
Absolutely not.
Insight?
Very disinterested. Yep. Make an insight check.
Great.
Can I join and/or?
Clearly, Ruby is really reliable.
me
Why
that
would
time.
you?
I
doubt
have
her?
proficiency in insight. Can I give advantage with the help action?
Sure.
What?
I'm the Delaria. Trust her.
I need to get different dice. I'm just gonna press the button. I literally can't read it. I got really
Why
fancy
did you
dice.
buy dice? You can't. No,
They're
that's no.
super fancy, and I'm
Look,
like, I don't know.
dice
so
are
fancy.
beautiful, but if you can't read them, they're
I know.
pointless.
I rolled 2 20s in a row. I had to buy them.
Impossible.
Don't get dice you can't read, guys.
I know.
17.
17?
with the
Beautiful.
advantage.
Great.
Great. And she says, no, she was very focused actually, and as I would say, she was she just wanted to know where Shamukar was, and that's all.
Is by herself?
She was all by herself, yeah.
Did anybody come quickly following?
Look, Shamukar, that's neutral ground.
Yeah.
And if somebody says something that they're going there, they've probably got business with Dask. Which means if you get in their way or you cause problems, you're getting in the way of Dask and causing problems with Dask. So once she said that, we all gave her a wide berth. We watched, we knew where she was going, we knew she could die in a second if we wanted her to, and we didn't. So we let it go.
Okay. Well, one last question for you, Han. Are we the only ones who've asked about this jacket?
Oh no, there was this dwarf that was around. We could
dwarf?
smell
Sorry, dwarf?
copper on him. We could smell copper on him in a second. Kind of like you told Doc and morally corrupt, she says, looking at Theron. But we could smell copper on him, and he wasn't interested in being nice like you guys are. So we didn't give him the time of day. We told him she'd gone to the Red Hammer. In Ashblack. Gonna be looking after a bunch of Warforged.
LIE.
Oh, yeah. And could you describe this dwarf?
Sorry,
for
not in
us?
Ashblack and Blackbones. Get my geography mixed up sometimes. She describes, and it's very clear that she's talking about Zoak Cross and cronies
Okay.
that have been paid off by the Laisha family. They followed the same clues you guys did and got this far, and it's clear they're waiting for her to leave. And that might be why there were those officers at the exit to Kyber's Gate.
All right. Thank you so much for all your help. And just slip her another silver.
She's, you need anything else, you come to Ruby Scarlet Feather. I will give you anything you need.
Absolutely. Big thing I need, you never saw us, no matter what they give you. Okay?
Saw who?
Thanks.
All right. You make your way through, and this is a dirty, filthy place, but you see that there's a little... They're not looking out for each other, but they're not preying on each other. The violence here is interpersonal, but not predatory, right? People get into fights, but they're not pickpocketing each other. They're not stealing from each other. This is a place to go be dangerous and learn how to be dangerous and get paid to be dangerous other places. Does that make sense? People are dying because of disease and malnutrition and all the other reasons that people die, but it's not predation. Does that make sense? And Boromar isn't getting here. Like none of you are halflings, or we would be having a conversation, right? They do not like halflings because of the Boromar family, and this zone is there's not fighting in, right? If Dask is bringing the fight to Boromar and like Caliston and Golden Gate and Malian's Gate and the stuff uptown. Anyway, you go through tons of goblins, hobgoblins, and other monsters, and you see Shamukar. It is a big, bustling, lit up place, especially in this darkness underground. Lots of candles and stuff. You hear raucous singing, loud conversation, passed out drunks out front that people have stolen all their shit. There's a couple, it looks like everything next to it for some reason is out of business. Like it's its own little place with several worn down shops. I would like insight or perception checks, which are apparently the only skills you guys will ever use in this campaign. What's up?
Oh no, nothing. I just have advantage on insight.
21.
18.
There is a tiny little shop that looks like it is out of business, but you catch that there's like a tiny little glimmer of light between its boarded up windows. There's no name on the sign. The only thing is a stylized dragon with an injured leg and a few drops of blood coming off of the leg. But you get the feeling that it's intending to look like it's closed and is actually open. Does that make sense? Like if you knew well enough to go through the door, they might welcome you. Does that make sense?
I go through the door.
Instead of going into Shamakar?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You
following, huh?
have a acrid smell fills your nostrils. Chemical, right? Like burning plastic, right? Fills this place when you go through the front door. And a changeling is there, just inside, without looking like anything else. The palish skin, the black eyes, the thin mouth, right? And they say, oh, new blood. New dealers, I suspect. Kavala sent you, yeah?
Yes.
So you've got her chit.
I
Let
pull
me
out
see
my
it.
sword and I bonus action rage, and I'm gonna bum rush him.
Great. Okay. Great. Roll an initiative, but you're gonna get a surprise round.
I didn't get to say this. I was gonna wait outside because I didn't know what was going on inside. So I am waiting outside. Good luck.
I got a 19 on initiative.
I need a second to get a stat block up. So, because I was not expecting. I have one. I have one.
I didn't think I would need a chip.
Wow.
Do I need an Alice in Wonderland my way into the store?
No.
All right.
I really think
I got an
Ashley
8.
has
So
He's going at 7 on initiative. I don't even have anything. I was not expecting a combat right now. So. Holy shit.
Sorry.
Grabbing an envelope to write
I'm a
initiative on.
barbarian. Like at the end
You
of
have
the
a
day,
chip?
I have
Bow,
to
bow.
punch it.
I understand
Like, I've
that.
hit a wall that I can't talk to things With
Hey, everybody.
Hi, I'm
Cask.
right behind you.
Cask, which is his name,
got
is
so
on
many people
initiative.
to do this for you.
Can I get initiative from everybody else?
I got an 8.
An 8 for Foxy.
got
A 14.
14 for Delaria.
It's so funny. We both had plans for this immediately.
19.
19 for Ashley, and I'm missing Theron.
3.
3 for Theron.
Also, I guess
All right.
I'm outside, so
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're gonna hear it.
You'll
So
probably hear
Ashley,
this.
Ashley, you storm towards him. You storm towards them. What are you trying to do exactly?
What I am trying to do is use my mass to just pick them up and like ram them towards a wall and hold my sword against their throat and intimidate them. I understand that's a lot of things I want to do.
Sure. This
So-
is several steps.
Yeah.
Let's do an attack roll first.
Okay.
Armor class is 16. This is the grab.
Can I like roll as if it's my great sword? Obviously I'm not, but like
It should
Yeah.
be strength. It should be strength and proficiency.
it's a +5. Okay,
I'm
great.
excited for this cheat.
That's a math 20.
Great. So you run forward and you grab the changeling, and I'll explain. He's wearing. They're wearing. What's the word I'm looking for? Like scientist, doctor, alchemist robes that are a little splattered and splashed with materials.
A
Right?
smock.
A smock. That's the word I'm looking for. So you've run in, you've rushed up, and you've grabbed him. Is what you've done so far. Delaria, do you do anything?
Oh, of course. I squeezed my way through that door
Mm-hmm.
and just how large would you say that room is, John?
Is it huge?
It is actually pretty large, and why? Because ogres come in here. So it is.
Ogres are the same size as me. So.
Exactly. So it is appropriately sized for you in your 10-foot glory. He has been grabbed by Ashley, who is clearly planning on slamming him into the wall with his next action. Them into the wall.
Oh, I'm just boosting with intimidation. There isn't some actual action we're gonna go to here. Let's see how
Great.
that goes.
Foxy.
18.
18, great.
Foxy is going, first of all, just because of how fast it all happened, she's going to bonus action shift. So, like,
Ooh, what does that look like? We haven't seen that before.
exactly. It's like very, very sudden. The hair on her ears becomes much coarser. Her nose becomes more snoutish. You can see fangs like just peeking ever so gently. The hands become clawed and still beautiful, mind you, but clawed, you know. And her breasts are still there. So that's that. But I'm going to ask the Fae, like, I'll ask the tingling lights around me to help me with this and cast suggestion on this, it's a dwarf?
Changeling.
And the suggestion being, tell him everything he wants.
Great. You see that your magic is Fae oriented,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So little green and gold bits of light waft off and infuse your language, and as you speak the words, they appear in ancient Thelonian Fae and become physical, and then float into the changeling's ear. Does that work for you?
That works.
Great. And he stops and he goes limp and he says, "I'll tell you whatever you want to know."
Okay. You are making dragon's blood?
I am indeed. I am Cask, the head alchemist for Daask.
What is
Also-
in dragon's blood?
I do not know. It is supplied to us by the hags smuggled in bricks that we break up and add a few solvents to, and in order to melt it into its liquid form.
is the difference between the potency in the solvents or in the powder that is shipped?
In the bricks that are shipped.
You use the same solvents. What solvents?
He says a
You can
number.
just list.
He lists several.
Cool.
They are relatively toxic.
Okay, so he's like they're pouring like bleach and jet fuel,
Maybe
or
not
like
bleach.
alkahest.
Alkahest. Yeah, it's yes. No,
Everclear.
it would be like Everclear. It would be stuff that's like not deadly to the human body, but not good for it.
It's pretty much poison though.
Right, it's pretty much poison, but it won't auto kill you, right? Like vinegar, maybe even. I don't know, but like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
like you don't want to drink vinegar, right?
I'll do a shot of apple cider vinegar every once in a while.
Sure, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's not great.
Oh, only with the mother.
With the mother.
All right. So, he says, also, you should know that when Kavala hears about this, you should know when Kavala hears about this, you're all going to die.
How's Kavala gonna hear?
She'll figure it out. Either one of us will tell her, or you'll kill me, and she'll figure it out.
What is the thing you hold most dear?
I actually don't play.
Actually, don't play. He's a chess master, dude.
I long to have the accolades of Sora Katra, the hag, one of the 3 hag queens of Troam. I am one of the most important workers for her Dask, through my ability to synthesize the dragon's blood so effectively.
You want a promotion
I want praise
from her.
from her. That is the thing that is most dear to me, is my place in this organization.
You know what would bring you praise and not your superior directly from your supplier? A dealer in the upper regions.
Make a deception check with advantage.
Oh my god, I rolled a 3 and a 4 minus 1, 3 with advantage.
You haven't used your once per session reroll,
Trying to reroll that
That
one.
is true. Oh my god.
and we've got 15-ish minutes left, so.
Might want to
That's
use it. Yeah.
also true. Okay. Okay, that's an 11?
He says, I admire your gumption, but you need to go through Kavala. I will neglect to mention this transgression as long as you fulfill the hierarchy in the future.
We have parallel motives that we had to pursue, but we will respect the hierarchy.
All right.
I thank you for your cooperation, and I apologize if I scared you.
All right. So, he says, Kavala will be happy to speak with someone of your sort. We're looking for more uptown dealers.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We hear a
Do
knock.
I see any dragon's blood just out?
No,
Yeah, what's
this
around?
upper floor is an abandoned area. Actually, I'll say that there was a crate that he was packing. So yes, there are some. So the dragon's blood is in little glass bottles with stoppers, vials, right? Or actually, like that is perfect, right? It would be smaller. It would be smaller because it would be like it's not a lot, right? It's not a lot for the effect. It'd probably be about this big, right?
Mhm.
Those little what are they called? The
Airplane bottles.
the airplane bottles. I was thinking
There's
everybody
actual glass
buys
vials that you
Right.
can buy. I don't.
everybody buys the
I'll find
or
them.
everybody
Oh,
gets the
Vic's finding
fucking
them right now.
gold. What is the cinnamon whiskey Fireball? Everybody has those little bottles of Fireball. that they like do shots
Yeah.
right before the club?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Oh,
what
Yeah, I
John,
do shots
It's
of
been a long
fireball.
while since you've been to
before
the
the
club,
club.
huh, buddy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you
Lieutenant-
see-
I'm the
Instant
kind of
response.
person that does shots of fireball before the club.
You know, somebody that image is going to illustrate it for somebody.
About
That's
my
so
funny. That makes
father
sense.
on New Year's Eve.
We're just teasing, John. I know
I
that
know,
you're
I
at
know.
the club.
Oh,
You
my
get
God.
out.
So
much love.
it's small enough
None for
that
fireball.
maybe I could slip a
You
vial.
could sleight of hand. They are like several gold pieces. Like they're like
Is he gonna
maybe
notice?
not. They're the cheaper ones, like the green dragon's blood, wouldn't be worth very much. The red dragon's blood is several gold pieces.
Great.
right?
I do want to steal like this all happened.
Yeah. Well, while that was going on, you wanted to do it. I'll give you a sleight of hand with advantage.
Nice.
The difficulty is 13.
Oh, rolled a straight 13. Oh, also rolled a 16 now, so whatever.
Great. So you've snagged a little bottle of red dragon's blood. The red dragon's blood is red and looks like blood. It's a little eerie. It moves and right, like it looks like uncoagulated blood.
This might come in handy.
Great.
And she your pockets.
And she, okay.
Oh, it was a physical gag.
Yeah, it was a gesture.
Sorry, I've got. I don't know if you can see. I have like a workstation.
No.
And I'm like on it. All right. So you are going into Shamakar now, or is there something else you want to do here? It's clearly like the bricks and the solvents and stuff is the smell that you've got that's coming from downstairs. You could try to brush past it and take a look at it, but at this point, you've pushed him about as far as you can without actually upsetting Dobbs.
Yeah. I feel like this is we got a lot of shit relatively for free. So I'm gonna back out
All right.
Yeah.
and count my lucky
Shamakar.
stars.
Delaria
Shamakar-
also goes down. 5 feet.
Shamakar itself. You enter, and this is a raucous bar, right? There's singing, fighting, but not violent fighting, right? Like there's people. It would be arm wrestling. It would be shows of strength that are not hurting each other, right? It is a combination slaughterhouse, butcher shop, restaurant, and tavern. And there's literally live animals, and you see a goat get its head chopped off and start getting prepared for food, right? There's all manner of like wriggling insects in jars that you see are being added to stews and being boiled alive. And the smell of the food is overwhelming. There's sawdust all over the floor. You don't think it's been swept or cleaned in ever, right?
What kind of cuisine? Like, could we smell
Sure.
if it was troll or ogre or
It is
hobgoblin?
It is. The chefs are
I had a
goblin,
feeling.
and the food is all Dragoneyes, which is the hobgoblin nation to the southeast.
Yeah.
And it is highly spicy, literally poisonous to non-goblinoids.
Mhm.
It not killing, but it will make you very sick. It gives you the poison condition for an hour if you eat it and fail a DC 15 con save. Right?
Where half orcs are just humanoids.
Correct.
So I would,
Yes. Only Theron would be able to eat this theoretically without consequence. Even some hobgoblins might, like, it's intense, right?
Ooh.
If Theron didn't grow up on hobgoblin cuisine, then it might still affect him, right? This is culturally hobgoblin, right? A human that grew up in Dargoon would be able to eat this, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just crazy fucking spicy.
It's crazy fucking spicy and toxic. They've got bugs and like stuff in it, right?
Bugs ain't nothing.
Bugs and stuff.
So
It's the stuff that'll get you.
and that's the other thing. This room is maybe one of the most diverse rooms you've ever been in your life. But you
That's
are the
cool.
outsiders. It is goblins, hobgoblins, ogres, minotaurs. There's a Medusa in the corner twisting one of her snake hair trends, right? And there are not any humans, half-elves, tiefling. Actually, there would be tieflings, but they would be ethnic tieflings from the Venomous Domain and Droam. Ethnic tieflings are the one.
Yeah, I'm just fire.
Right. They're descended from other tieflings for hundreds of years, right? As opposed to having like immediate demon blood. It is. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
The Venomous Domain are
cultural.
ethnic tieflings that left Orkaloon in Sarlota. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
I'm almost immediately.
they tend
infernal.
to be green skinned and greens, blues, and magical, poisonous, if anything. And we'll say at this point, the door that is clear. There's a big like barbarian king door. When I say that, does that it's like bones crossed across the top of it, lashed wood. It is the entrance to the barbarian king's throne in any other setting, right? And that door opens, and you see a small, young, half-elven woman with the same raven black hair of her mother's, wearing fishnet stockings, a tight-fitting leather corset, and gloves up to black leather gloves, clearly doing her best to look like a badass thief, and kind of succeeding and kind of failing, right? She's half succeeding. Her eyes meet yours, Ashley, and she snorts and she says, "I knew my mother's goons would find me eventually. So what? You gonna take me in?" And that is where we're gonna end our session today.
Thank you for joining us for Dice, Drinks, and Drama. Every week, we stream this show live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you join us then, you can make choices about how we progress within our campaign. We're in a mystery adventure, as you saw just a few minutes ago, so you can really change the outcome of events, especially this Wednesday. We're doing some crazy things, so please try to make it if you can. And if you'd like to see our old episodes, we're still continuing to post our old campaign over here. Check it out over there. And over here we got some one-shots. And up here, it's got a subscription button. Please subscribe, ring that bell. The subscription button's also down below, as well as to links to our Twitter, our Discord, all that fun stuff. Please join us there. Thank you so much. And, have a great day. You deserve it. Bye.